about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, at 1:47. So about 13 minutes ago, logging in, broke my toe. Long story from Heidi.
Okay.
Okay.
You've got 2 hours. Go for it.
Yeah, we got 2 hours, Heidi. Well, what happened?
First of all, let me preface this by saying, Nick, after you had sent me that text with the safety measures, and we just joked for 2 days about the fact that we are accident prone-ness, I ran into the chair getting ready, and I have this heavy desk chair that has these heavy wooden feet, and I had socks on, and I went straight into it. Why? Because I thought the chair was here and not here.
And you broke your toe?
Oh, it's...
Oh, okay.
I had to tape him to the others.
I was going to say,
I am
you are
an
here.
EMT.
You are here now instead of getting a cast on those toes.
What's it? Come on. What's a cast on the toe going to do? What is that going to do? Really? I need to understand this concept.
I don't know. For me, I have bouncy legs, so like for me, it'd keep them in place. It wouldn't allow me to bounce.
That's what I taped. Like I am an EMT. I didn't say I taped my feet with Scotch tape or duct tape.
Oh, see, I would duct tape around my
I
feet.
taped it with medical binding tape. So I taped the one toe to the other. That's all they do when you break your toes. They don't put you in... Who puts you in a cast when you break your toes? I'd like to know.
Depends who's paying the insurance.
I don't know.
In the States.
Well,
lot of it,
also...
you might gold banding and stuff.
Yeah. No. I think I should also say, I mean, yes, very aware. There are medical situations where you need a cast when you break your toes, but especially where you break your toe. But from the looks of it and how they're standing cricket and not saying hello to each other anymore, I'm pretty sure it's in the middle. Because I can't bend. I can't roll. So.
Well, with that, welcome everybody to our Thursday live stream. So again, we're not going to do like a show this week. I think we will do this hangout. We got the Christmas music going, the holiday music, and
I can't hear it.
I think you can't hear the holiday music. It's going in the background there. Barry, can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Yeah, it's going.
Why am I? Oh, I've just realised something. Hold on. You can tell
you don't have your headphones on.
I don't have my headphones on, but I'm just going through normal speaker. That's better.
Wow.
Right, kill that.
Okay.
Now I feel much better. Now I feel
much better. Okay. It's been a while since you've done this too, right? Like last week you joined us. You were in a hotel room.
Yeah, I might have had 1 or 2 beers and was just hanging out and seeing what was going on. Oh, 3 or 4 beers maybe. No, I'd only had 1 or 2. No, I'd been good.
So I thought this week. Well, first off, thank you to my esteemed guests for joining me on this very wonderful holiday edition of Human Factors Hangout. I think I should make the thumbnail with lights, like Christmas lights hung around it. I think there's a what we should do today, and if all of you are watching, listening along, is it's been a while since we've been on the show, and like show, and I think I would like us to get back on that holiday express, and so on those rails. And so what I think we should do today, if you're watching or listening along, and you've heard of any fun, interesting, exciting Human Factors news that have happened over the last 2 months, throw it our way. We'll put it out for
20
a poll.
Years. 200 years. Well, I don't care.
We'll put it out for a poll. At the end of this, we'll kind of wrap everything up, send out a poll, and then you can all vote on it, and we'll do that for the next show, whether that's next week or the week after, because I know we're running into the holidays here. Probably next week, and then we'll probably take off a week here, depending on availabilities. But we'll at least get out a show, and we'll get back on the rails, and we'll take a look at what's been going on around the Human Factors. I think there's one big story that I think might get more attention than others.
Okay. And that would be...
You would care to share?
Is it our turn to shit on the Cybertruck?
What?
To be fair,
What happened?
it looks terrible. But I was quite... So one thing I was quite impressed with, if I'm honest, is where he turned around and said, right, we're going to race a Porsche 911.
Could anybody please clarify? I have no clue what you guys are talking about.
The Tesla Cybertruck. So,
Do
in
the
so many
listeners all
words.
know? Can you tell the story real quick?
Well, I mean, this would be one of the things that we'd put up for talking points, right? It's
Oh,
we could do
okay.
we could do an
So
episode
you're
on
going...
it, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going through the news stories, trying to see if there's anything that we could potentially pull for
Gotcha.
our.
See, I
human
think from
factors
an
unit.
HF perspective, and this is slightly unlike me, there's not really, I think, an HF angle on the Cybertruck at the moment.
No, there's tons, and there's been a lot of like critical analyses of the design of the thing, everything from safety to usability of everything. Okay, so like and again, this is not the episode. We're not going to do this right now. If you want to hear more of this, vote on the Cybertruck.
Now,
But here's like just a few. Okay, one, because the thing is rigid, it's stainless steel. It doesn't have the same crumple zone as normal cars, and so you don't get that impact reduction. So safety, right? Two, when you think about the gear shifter, where do you think about that? Probably in the center console, probably somewhere easily acceptable. Maybe on a steering column. It's up by the rear view mirror.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. The third thing that I'll mention, and then I'll kind of end it with this. There's a whole list that people have put together, and we can find a good article for that. But the third thing, this thing doesn't have like handles. You look at the Cybertruck; it doesn't have like door handles, right? And Tesla, they do have them.
This is just getting weirder and weirder.
But to be fair, my car doesn't have door handles either.
Okay. How do you get in?
You press the button,
and then what happens?
And the door pops open.
Okay. So I mean, that's another thing that we could talk about. So that's just
No, are you sure you don't have one of those cars where it's just because there's been going some stuff around on social media too that people don't even know that they have hidden places where they can enter a key in case that function fails.
And that's a whole other conversation.
Do you have a backup?
My car, you can put a code in, and it has a code that you can put in on the door column, and you can open it that way. I can also open it by the app. There is also a key opening as well, but the amount of work you have to do to get to that key opening is unreal.
But there is a backup, right?
Oh yeah. But you have to take the bumper off and stuff.
Okay.
It's
Anywho,
interesting. I'm looking at it now, Barry. I didn't realize that your car was one of those without. So I mean, this could be like people's low hanging fruit, obviously poking fun at the Cybertruck, but it is sort of zeitgeisty now. That's one topic that I think we can talk about.
Yeah. Just finish that little bit that I was saying before you really put me off with facts.
I'm so sorry.
So one of the things they did was do we're going to race a Porsche 911 and see which wins. And so it did. And the Cybertruck won. And then the camera pans back, and actually the Cybertruck is towing a trailer with another 911 on it. So actually the only way that the one Cybertruck won, one 911 won, was because it was being towed by a Cybertruck. I thought it was just very clever. I thought it was quite a cool, neat thing to do. More successful than in trying to break the windows and actually breaking them. Which still, I think, just sits there in the should have tested beforehand. Anyway, what else could we talk about?
Let's see. Well, I am.
We could talk about the first space.
Talk about what?
The first space war.
The first space war.
So, and I've got to remember the protagonists in this, but apparently earlier this year there was the first space defense system was deployed and used against an opposition something in space, and it was shot down. Shot up. How do you shoot things down in space? Because things don't fall down.
This is very interesting because the first episode of All of Mankind of season 3 aired, and guess what happened? They started a space war. So,
Cool.
that's interesting. Okay. Well, because you remember, Barry, when I told you about the show, it's like it takes parallel, just
Yes.
parallel history stories. So while they don't change what happened in history, they change who won or who did it or how it happened or all that stuff. So it's just interesting. I didn't know about the story that you just told, but I did see the episode of All of Mankind and thought, wait, when did that happen? And so it isn't.
I'm just seeing if I can find this story so I don't just look like I'm just making things up.
No.
But-
Yeah, good. Do that. I have 2 things though for folks watching and listening right now. So I'm hoping that all of you have some good stories that you want to share with us too. If you've been working on something cool, we're happy to feature those. Like, that's always a good way to get your stuff out there, especially if it has like larger implications. What's the application of that? Within the human factors. 2, my second thing that I'd like to bring up is, Barry, what would be the human factors angle on the like space war thing? Would it just be talking about like the psychology of war in space and like I guess what would you think would be the approach there? Like how would we talk about that?
So I would be
engineering.
well, it'd be about the engineering, but also the autonomy, I think, and how much human decision making was in the loop before the missile that it was intercepted was shot down. So potentially, but I'm just reading the story. I'll put the link in our chat.
Okay.
Well, and also that, remember, well, I don't know if remember, but the most extreme environment engineering comes from the first encounters in war. So like war calls for solutions where extreme engineering is called for. So that's how they come up with stuff. That's how a lot of advancements in aviation were made during the First World War. So
Absolutely.
it's like it feeds into that, then it goes into medicine because the extreme environment is patient care, surgical, and then the best of them all is, and then extreme transportation is nuclear, and then, or the crossover between medicine and combat, like battlefield, combat field, medicine. So you
It's
could talk
interesting
about all that stuff.
because historically, you're right, that defense has always been the leader in pushing technology forward, and then everything else has spun off it. But what we have found in the past, I don't know, 5 years, maybe a bit more, maybe 10 years, is that actually the civilian space is leapfrogging most of the defense space, which is why the various departments of defense, MOD, all them sort of people are spending so much money on commercial off-the-shelf stuff and working out how to bespoke it into or modify it into use. Whereas historically, they would have built it from first principles for defense, and then developed other stuff out of it.
But it's not. But it's not for the reasons that has changed. It still is. It's just the problem is it completely coming from a completely different root cause why that script has flipped. It's economic. Defense used to be the biggest pocket. Defense in general, government spending used to be bigger than private spending, and now you have all these ultra wealthy people who take it upon themselves to push the envelope, right? So, and now we have a society that constantly needs more and faster instant gratification. So the engineering a lot of times comes out of that. So, it's still coming from the extremism, but the extremism has now found a place in day-to-day society by being sponsored and funded and, fueled with private dollars from bored people.
Yeah, that's true.
Bored billionaires, I guess you should say. So,
what
else you got, Nick?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So
Barry, have you heard of that?
yes,
Yeah, no, it's a very well known human factors problem, I find.
Oh,
I-
really?
sorry,
Okay. You should tell me more about it sometime.
Here's a little production note. I am very thankful to have both of you on the show today because as we're talking about all this, I'm actually live making a poll for everyone to vote on, right? And this, like I said, will be up by the time we're done here, and we'll have all the stories there. And so I'm going through and looking for articles that kind of support our claims. I put the link that you put in there, Barry, for the space war,
Okay,
and now
cool.
I found one that is appropriate for the Cybertruck. I think there's another. So I can pull up my my feeds that I normally frequent. There's this was like late breaking. This is just today. Did you guys see the Google Gemini demo?
Nope. I've down for most of the day.
So Google Gemini, I'm still catching up on this news too. So if there's anything that I misrepresent, sorry about that. We're not live on a podcast, so at least that information's not getting out in that regard. So please bear with me as I am finding out details about this too. But there was a Google Gemini demo today where essentially what this is an AI model with, I guess this was yesterday, maybe the it's a mixed modal AI detection piece. So the best way I can describe this is through the demo that they showed, and it was basically, some guy's camera on his desk, and it says, "All right, can you tell me what I'm looking at?" And then Google comes back and says, "I think I'm looking at a desk, but I'm not sure." And he puts a little, notepad in front of him. What am I looking at now? Oh, it looks like you just put a notepad out there, and Google's actually saying all this. And then he's like drawing step by step, essentially, till Google realizes what it is that he's drawing. He's like, "Oh, you drew a duck," and then he colored it in. He's like, "Oh, it's blue, but ducks aren't normally blue." And then he's like, "Are you sure? Well, here's a blue duck," And so it's a demo, and I know we've talked a lot about the AI stuff, but this could potentially be another exciting thing to talk about. I think there's a lot of promise with a multimodal. Some of these multimodal AI, and I mean, it could just be a good time to do an AI update, right? Because it's been a while since we've talked about it. 2 months. There's a lot that's changed, right? You have the Chat GPT marketplace now with the GPTs, the custom GPTs. You have Google Gemini. You have Chat GPT being able to create images right within that UI. And then if you've seen some of the examples of things that people have made with that, it's hilarious. And maybe we could do one of those as like a exercise, but there's some really cool things that you can do with AI since we last spoke about the topic. So
Well, you and Barry have fun with that.
I don't know what you mean. AI is for everybody. Good
I
fun.
mean, I love that I can say this to Nick because he won't get his feelings hurt because we get the ADHD in us. So I can confidently say, Nick, I think 3-4 words into you talking, I was gone. So I stopped listening. So you and Barry have fun talking about the AIs again.
well, hang on. This here's what I'll do. We can do this. Let's see. So I am going to. It's making the image right now.
No,
But-
you always do this. You don't announce it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nick.
I'm sorry.
It's...
I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's
What
some
is
things
it you-
need to stay private in our lives.
What is it we're not meant to see?
Okay. Well, let me talk through this. Hang on, Heidi. I'm gonna try to fix this so that way it's you can come back now. I got it to where it won't show your edges.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Should be
you're
more
fine.
considerate.
It's just I don't need to show.
Yeah, here, come on back.
There
There we go.
Nope,
Oh wait, no wait,
nope,
shoot.
Nope. Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here's what we'll do. All right, Heidi, you're still there in spirit.
I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Okay. Basically, what I've done, and oh shoot, it's having an error here. I said make a picture of 3 podcasters, 2 men and 1 woman, who are really excited to talk about human factors, right? And you can actually have it create images now. And what people have been doing is kind of taking this to the extreme. So you'll see an image, and then you can say, okay, now make them really, really excited to talk about human factors. And then you can say, and it'll kind of take it to the next level, to the point where, you can say something along the lines of, they have ascended human transcendence with talking about safety and regulations. And so we can try this. And if you have any suggestions, throw them in chat. We can do it that way. But here's an image of human factics.
It
right?
isn't
Okay.
very good at text in
Okay.
pictures, but that's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's also
almost
almost close, right?
I will zoom in a little bit so
I
we can
mean-
see these with a little bit more clarity.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't got purple straight hair, but we got somebody with a beard and somebody. Oh no, we have 2
Beard
people
and
with
glasses.
beards. No. Mm-mm. Huh?
I said beard and glasses. Look at that. All right, so
Yeah.
then I'm going to say, okay, make them happier and more excited.
And one of them British. Just to see, I'd be really intrigued. To
Okay,
see
we can do that on the next round here.
And
I'll
then
say make a,
make the woman of Persian heritage. I want to see how they change it.
yeah. So one of the things that we could, and I'm so glad you said these, because what's going to happen is I'm going to say make the man on the left British, and what's going to happen is look how happy they are. Look how happy they are. Okay.
That's genius.
Okay.
And we now do human fackles.
Human factors. Okay, watch this. Okay, so the guy on the right. Okay, make the guy on the right British. Okay.
Go on then.
So I'm so glad you both brought this up,
Hit
because what's
enter.
going to
I see it.
happen is these AI systems have a lot of bias built into them, and you're starting to see that, and you're starting to see these biases exaggerated when you start saying happier, or exaggerating it to the point you start to see these stereotypes emerge. And so when I say make the guy on the right British, they'll bring back a stereotype image of
If I'm
British
not
men.
wearing Union Jack underpants.
Okay, there's the Union Jack.
Okay.
See, they're still happy. Okay, right now. Okay,
make the laptop in the middle. So okay, I see what they're doing there.
make the woman of Persian descent.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be very, very disappointing.
So you can start
Well,
to see
let's
where the
see.
stereotypes coming in.
Let's see what we got coming.
I've used it recently for creating project logos, which has been really interesting. Try and giving it the paragraph of what the project is about, and then say create me a logo that represents this. Some of the stuff that's come back has been really quite cool. And actually, the logo I have used is 2 different ones sort of overlaid on each other, which is quite neat.
Okay, looks like the image is ready. Maybe.
Excited.
Okay,
Oh
you got
my
the.
heart is racing now. Jesus
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
all right, all right.
that's
Christ.
Okay.
Sorry, I
make
swore.
them.
your left arm is doing weird things.
You know that is absolutely
make
biased.
more human factor references in the photo. I'm gonna bring it back to a photo because they're doing like a style approach here.
I was gonna say you need to make the other guy American.
That's fine. For the purposes. What I hear this image is like pool noodles.
Wait, what's going on?
I think Nick's
See the-
PC is doing lots of hard work.
Nick, you're glitching. You're glitching. Nick, you're glitching.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Get rid of the screen sharing.
Nah.
That could be drawing too much power from your internet.
it's the ChatGPT that's pulling so much
Yep.
things from it. But I'm more interested in seeing what the picture that comes up with than what Nick's got to say. So, because he's glitching in what he's saying, he can't come back at me about it. That's cool. Oh, now everything's properly hung up now. He's broken it. He's probably broken his computer and his whole streaming capability. That's it. The world's going to end. And actually, he's the only one he controls, so I couldn't even try and bring you back in, Heidi, because I don't have that.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just...
Oh, now it's just... Oh,
now it's just you and I?
well, now it's just you and I, and it's just me on camera, which I've sort of got slightly the same issue with. I didn't realize just how... In fact, everything else I'm fine with, except for the cable that is running above my head, which is just weird. And you can only see a little bit of the teddy bear, the dragon teddy bear.
I mean, I could come back, but I don't want that view of... Yeah.
Well, you won't be as wide as you were, but you'll be half screen.
No, I already checked. I already did the... You didn't see it. I came back for 1 second. You must have blinked.
That was like just a...
Yeah, but I mean, I think no, it's not dislike. I don't really have any strong feelings towards the AI currently in regards to stuff like that. I think it's just more that I'm not happy with the fact, and this is oversimplifying it by me saying I'm not happy with the fact, but I'm not happy with the fact that no matter how much we learn from technology and from what it has done to society, to the mental development of people, I think it's just very sad that we just will not throttle things until we have it under control with what it does, how it affects us. And as you could see by Nick just typing in, make the woman of Persian descent. I mean, why was she wearing a hijab? Persian has nothing to do with wearing a hijab. That is not Persian. That's a religion. That's not Persian. And so it's this like biases, right? Yeah. And she was wearing conservative clothing. The woman before he had put that in was wearing a shirt that had a little bit of a crew neck, and when she was made Persian, the woman was all covered up.
Ay.
You're back.
I am.
Hello.
So, Heidi, I don't know if you told Barry, but the problems we were having yesterday.
Yeah, well, but this time it's a little bit your fault. ChatGPT uses too
No, it's not ChatGPT. It's the internet.
Oh.
Okay. Heidi, you might want to go away because I'm gonna bring it back here because it came back with an image.
Okay, need to see the image.
All right. So again, the prompt here was make more human factors and more UX references in the photo. And there you go. You got human Frederick
and now
Dassin.
she's even more covered up.
Yep. Yeah. So you can see where the bias starts leaking in here. Yeah. More human factors. Human factors in design. Look at that. There you go.
Yeah. And actually, it looks like it's spelt right as well. And I like all the posters in the background as well.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who this person's supposed to be.
I was gonna, It's I mean, the grand scheme, it's good art.
Can we take that off of the screen now?
It's stuff you could use.
Just about. More human factors. Hang on. Even more human factors. They have transcended to Don Norman and Chris Wickens status All caps. I don't know. I'm curious to see what pops in here when they, you know,
Can we be done then?
just after this one we can be.
I mean, the quality of the artwork that's coming out, I mean, is quite impressive. Because you could easily throw that into a
The next picture, is she going to be wearing a chador? Yep.
Transcendence. Look at that. That's quite clever.
Human Normans, Chris.
Okay.
Chris Wickens. Okay.
Oh,
So I'm taking it away now, Heidi. You can go back. So you can see here where some of this bias comes in, right? Once I said British,
Yep.
Union Jack. Once I said Persian, covered up, right? So this is another thing that we could talk about is sort of this ingrained bias, especially within image generation. Talk about Google's Gemini demo. We can talk about GPTs. So there's a lot of like AI update. Like that's a topic there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that. AI update.
And also, I didn't want to get rid of the screen because I want it to be back on the screen. When it is on the screen, I can't see anything anymore because I'm not wearing my glasses. In order to see, I'd have to pull the laptop close, and then when you put me back, I have to put the laptop back again. It's like a constant push-pull. That's why.
Speaking of someone wearing glasses, I had somebody else regaling me with their LASIK surgery and telling me all about it. And there's nothing that freaks me out more than the thought of people messing with your eyes. So then the whole description. I mean, so I'm lucky at the moment. I mean, I was saying to Amanda the other day, I should probably now start thinking about going to get glasses. I'm due an eye test and stuff because just certain things I'm now starting to have an interesting minor challenge reading small print and things like that. So maybe
you
I need
want
to
one of
learn
these?
All right. Cool. Yeah, if you could just pass it over. Cheers, pal.
Yep, sure. Here you go.
But then and clearly I'd written something into some search engine because suddenly all the ads I was getting was for laser. Then there was but yeah, just this whole description of the how like the freezing. Oh, because there was the video of somebody's eye getting opened, so like with the things, so
The flaps.
Like so they can't blink and all this sort of stuff. Now just like no, just no, just go away. I do not need to see that sort of stuff. It's horrible. I think the thing that my earliest freak out about eyes was when me and Amanda had just first started dating. We were around her place and she was taking her contact lenses out. So she takes one out, she takes the other, and she's got, I can't get this other one out. It's stuck. And she's got, I can get hold of it, I can pull it, but I just can't get it. Oh, it's sucked onto my eye. I'm like, that should, Amanda, there's already 2 contact lenses in your bowl. You've already taken the other one out. So she's clearly grabbing her eyeball, the lens of her eyeball, and pulling it. And I'm just horrid.
Okay. That reminds me of Monica. No. Rachel. Friends.
Mm-hmm.
She had a thing about her eyes. And it took the other 5 to hold her down to the ground and pry her eyes open to put an eye drop in.
I'm all right with putting eye drops in and such, but anything else that just leave them alone.
I had to put eye drops in yesterday. Oof. Yeah, that was.
For me, it was always the nose.
Oh, why the nose?
Anything up anywhere close.
Not cool.
Yeah, which is lovely considering how many times my nose had to suffer. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
It's in fact my son suffers from or did suffer from lots of nosebleeds, just like spontaneous nosebleeds, and so recently he had to go in and get them sort of cauterized and stuff. And thankfully we didn't. I kind of knew what was coming because my dad had it done. And he told me, and I just didn't tell Leo what was coming, which was the right thing to do because I don't think he would have gone if he'd known. So.
Well, I mean, I had my procedure, 2 months ago? Yeah. They fixed my collapsed.
And do you feel better for it?
Well, it's very weird because I guess the first time they tried to fix it, I guess they didn't do it as properly as it should have been done. So the healing time was very quick. And then I had another procedure where they tried to fix it again because the breathing is becoming a real issue, in life. So they then, that was also really quick in the healing. Like, talk a couple of weeks. I mean, my eyes stayed black and blue, and that kind of takes a while. But this one was so extensive that they say it can take a year for the swelling to go down.
Wow.
So it could be a year before I know the actual ultimate win out of it. So the one thing that it has definitely done is by correcting the physical part now that the air there is actually an airflow unobstructed. It's interesting. Now I can feel my allergies 100 times more.
Well, yes, I guess so. Yeah.
And so now I'm not breathing from the physical obstruction. I'm not breathing because of the sinuses, and the sinuses make me nasally. And I've never been nasally in my life. So now it's almost as if it changed also my voice and my speech. So it's weird.
It's always all interconnected. So yeah. But
if we lose Nick on?
What?
Huh?
What?
He's just being quiet in the background.
Well, so I'm looking at news stories here. I'm trying to find some things that might be like topical, right? I found one, which is interesting. It's the headline here: exposure to soft robots decreases human fears about working with them. So
it's a soft.
Yeah, seeing
Why
robots
are we on the rope. Does it have to be robots and AI?
No, these are potential talking points, Heidi.
Yeah.
Like
no, I know.
If people want to hear about them, they can
that
pick
was
that,
the AI.
Yeah, this one's robotics.
And then what's the other category?
It could be anything.
Okay.
Aviation, transportation,
anything.
Anything.
What if you type human factors anything in?
The gist of this story: seeing robots made with soft, flexible parts in action appears to lower people's anxiety about working with them or even being replaced by them. Okay. A study found that watching videos of soft robot working with a person and at picking and placing tasks lowered the viewer's safety concerns and feelings of job insecurity. This was true even when the soft robot was shown working in close proximity to the human. So, that's one thing.
What's a soft robot?
A robot that has soft parts, like fleshy bits. Like think like Baymax.
A robot that looks like human? Is that what it means?
It could be, or like silicone parts and pieces that make them
so it doesn't just look metallic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I've just put in a search just to say, human factors news, and it's linked me to phys.org. So
what?
Phys, so presumably physics, phys.org, and the top thing it's come up with: grunt or whistle. Successful honey hunters know how to communicate with wild-seeking honeybirds.
This is why we do the news roundups here, is because you get stuff like that when you search it.
It's quite interesting. I mean, there's presumably something in it, but then the next one down is something quite close to my heart: climate change, why disinformation is so persistent. So about why do we like disinformation about climate change more than the extra stuff? And he's actually, I took part in a study yesterday, or helped in the construction of a study yesterday. looking at fatalism and optimism within climate change attitudes, which is really interesting. Dreams can vary across cultures and environments. That's more like I don't.
You just said something. There's a new study out says that people with ADHD and people with autism dream more vividly and complex. That was really interesting.
Okay.
Why? Oh
Makes
God, what'd you
I'm not
find?
laughing at that. I'm laughing
Yeah,
at a
no. What'd you
I'm-
find?
I'm laughing at a headline from our friends over at UX Collective. The title is "Move Fast, Break People."
Okay.
Okay. Is that the next level?
Well, it's getting at the urgency in design and research and why that urgency
Okay.
happens, and that leading to a state of stress within workers. So, I don't know if it'd be a good topic. It could be a good topic to talk about, but I just
So there's
laughing at the title there.
Well, this one's kind of got me. So the title is Researcher. Amazon is a time bomb for emergence of diseases with pandemic potential due to deforestation and climate change. So when I read the first part, I was like, how is Amazon warehousing going to be responsible for the next pandemic? I thought there was going to be like how they box germs up from different people and ship them around the world. But no, it's all about the Amazon rainforest. But because of environmental degradation and altered landscapes, then it's going to lead to doing some of this. An AI story here, but it's quite in the fighting against bushfires. AI, if people are taking snaps as they're within the bush when they're walking through it. There's an innovative new mobile phone app called No Burn, which can predict whether a bushfire could be in that area or could spark up.
That's cool. I love seeing AI used for things like that. Sorry, I'm trying to find something that's not AI for Heidi.
Oh, you don't have to. I'm just saying.
Well, AI and robotics they go hand in hand, but they're different. I think fundamentally anyway.
Yeah, I guess the problem it is seen as heavy technology, isn't it? So
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I do
So
find human factors in politics interesting. I saw that one time, Barry, that you mentioned that, and then recently I saw it come up again where they showed through human factors, through biases and all that stuff, they showed how it directly affects how you look at democracy. So it was a really interesting one.
I'd be really up for doing another podcast that I listen to is a direct commentary reflection on, we have Prime Minister's questions every week, every Wednesday. And there is a show that sort of listens to it, pauses after the question and answers happened, and then, just reacts to them live. And then you play the next one because there's 6 questions from the. What I'd be quite keen on doing is to try and do something like that, but and there's maybe there's an American take on it, there's the UK take on it. Basically, the human factors response to political activity. Either how human factors could help the decision making that's going on at any one time, or how human factors may be not being considered and the fallout because of that. So not going down a politically opinionated route. I don't know whether I could stop myself, but something like that to try and bring that human factors stroke, I guess, psychology stroke UX-y type spin onto it, and see if we could make it relevant. I don't know whether it would work, but it could be a laugh.
I'd love to get somebody from the GRC to come and talk about that stuff with us, because they're in the trenches. Let's see here. Oh, we do airport data collection and application.
Sorry.
Barry, tell us really how you feel
Yeah,
about
I mean,
it.
you like this is how I sort through these stories. I read all the headlines and I'm like, is that something we could talk about? Maybe, I'll read a little bit more and go.
There's a social sciences one here around why people tend to believe UFOs are extraterrestrial. I mean, that's got all the ingredients for a good discussion.
Actually, they're called UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Okay, that shut that one down really quickly. But I'm going to go into that story because it looks like it could be fun.
Let's inject a little comedy here. You'll remember this from last week. Old. You still refer to them as UFOs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Redeem. You know what a UAP is.
Until you just said it, I'd never heard of it. So that's me then.
We could play more of this if y'all wanted to, but could be a little fun thing. I should go through and find the human factors ones. There's also another game that I have that is loads of fun, which is it's all about priorities, and so you get like 5 random things, and you have to guess how the other person will prioritize those things. It's essentially task sorting or card sorting.
Okay, yeah.
Then you have to guess how the other person is card sorting.
Wow. I mean, this isn't the latest news because this is a research article from 2019. But it was within the proceedings of HFES annual meeting 2019. This is so fascinating to me. I'm not going to say what's in it because I didn't read it yet, but the title is Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorder, a review of human factors considerations and usability testing guidelines. And that is, you read a little bit of the intro, the abstract, and it's basically of how people with individuals with autism spectrum disorder display an interest in and affinity for technology, however often aren't included in the design of it. And that's so true. It's so true. This is fascinating. Anyway,
it's amazing the amount of things that are designed without the user community that it directly affects being there. I mean,
you mean you talk about medication for women specifically, yet it was never tested on women?
Yep. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Let's talk Viagra.
Your favorite example?
Well, I just find it fascinating the fact that the only reason it came that the drug wasn't originally going to be developed for what it does, for what it is, and it just because it was only tested on men that it ended up being what it is. One that came up when I was at my CHF trustee meeting last week, was around menopause and what are the human factors. Well, basically, there needs to be more research on menopause, full stop. But what are the human factors considerations around it? Both from the workplace thing, but also down to the more specific elements as well. So, which is something I think that needs work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
really?
Yeah.
You think I don't know that?
Well, I think many men who are listening to this don't know that.
No. I was making a joke based on the last week's episode. I talked about my perimenopause and how I keep going from doctor to doctor being told that it's in my head. I'm too young. I can't be any different than others. No, I shouldn't. This should do the trick. No, you don't need that. No, we can't measure your hormones. No, we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, we have exactly the same problem over here.
Yeah.
There seems to be, I mean, part of me when I started hearing about people go through this, then it was like, oh, well, is it just because you get male doctors all the time and all that sort of stuff? And that's not true. It can be male, female. It doesn't matter.
All of my doctors female.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's because it's what's taught. If you teach somebody to discriminate biasly, I mean, with the mindset that most of their symptoms are mental, as in made up mental, and you feed into the cliche or the told story that women are emotional, dramatic, overreacting. You know, a woman can never react. She can only overreact. Famous words by Taylor Swift, right? And I mean that with respect towards Taylor Swift. This is a thing. Look at that woman. I mean, look at the platform Taylor Swift holds. She can hold up entire economies. That woman is a businesswoman I've never seen so sharp. I mean, what she pulls off. And she even knows firsthand how much the world is tilted and favored towards the other. And that's, I think that's very telling. So it's not surprising to me, and I'm sorry you guys having to go through that too. It's not, no,
it's not cool.
And I just learned that women, specifically adult women with ADHD, so that's like a combination of autism and ADHD, are often labeled as hypochondriacs because we have, on average, more physical and chronic pain, and it stems from a lot of biological deficiencies strictly coming from, for instance, a lack of dopamine production. And it's just fascinating. I just got done reading this today because my therapist gave it to me, but but yeah, because you know that's what they are taught in medical school. So I think it's more a question of like, why aren't we changing the curriculums there?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, there's I think that's very true in quite a lot of different bits, not just medicine. About
exactly.
we're not digging back into the roots and saying, right, we need to have the shift in mentality there. To make it work.
100%.
In a slight shift, I've actually found a story that is not got anything to do with AI and it's not got anything to do with robots, sort of. It's sort of a little bit, but automated agriculture. But automated agriculture needs new approaches to ensuring safety. So that's a bit about. I'll chuck it in the chat because it's sort of interesting. It's got a picture of a tractor on. I mean, that makes it quite cool, doesn't it?
We did a story, I think it was like right around episode 200 when we did the refresh with everything. We did a story on automated agriculture. And it was one of the more stories that I can I clearly remember it off the top of my head. Some of these stories we talk about and forget about it the next week, but agriculture, let's see here. What do you come back with? How cybersecurity affects smart farms. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. That was a fascinating one. April 29th, 2021, episode 204, for those of you who want to go check that out.
I got lots of ideas. trolling through my head from that one.
Oh, hey, we have I'm just now seeing these chats come through. We have Neil in the chat. I had mentioned when we were talking about you had mentioned the questions, Barry, about the politics and trying to get it from the human factors perspective. Neil says GRC will absolutely support that.
So just for everybody's benefit, what's the GRC?
Government Relations Committee. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And if you want to learn more about that, you know what? I've been backlogged here, obviously, with things that talked about last week, but I do plan to release the episodes that we recorded from HFES into the feed. Maybe I'll do that one first. You can go and listen to my conversation with Neil about that. I'm looking for a timestamp here about the GRC. So that's great. And then let me just make sure I'm saying that right. Government Relations Committee. Yeah.
So, like I said, in the UK, we have our Prime Minister's questions, where the Prime Minister goes up once a week and gets nailed for really tricky questions, or depending on how useful or useless the opposition is. You don't have the equivalent in the States, do you? Because presumably the president doesn't go and get harangued by the opposition in any sort of way like that. What's the sort of
your local government is supposed to be open to listening to constituents, and each constituent does have their right to go to Congress and speak with their Congress people, meaning, any representative or even senator. I mean, every citizen, every constituent has that right. The problem is just that the politics in this country have gotten so rotten that it's all just about fame for most of those politicians. I can name a lot. It's not that there's not good ones, but the sad fact is that they just get pegged down by what's it always called? Identity politics. There you go.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, technically, Barry, kind of like, it's not that they come to us, it's more that we can go to them, I guess. But they're also supposed to hold town halls and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be more, that would be more equivalent, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
So is there a time where, I guess, in either house that whichever party's leading that house, that the opposition can ask them
there's like press briefings, right? And it's not necessarily the opposition, it's reporters and news media who go and approach and ask questions that can be topical. And
I watch The West Wing, I know all about that.
And okay. and so sometimes they can be guided by certain agendas. And they're not like sourced from any, I guess, they're not sourced from any opposition or anything. But like, I'm wondering, Barry, and this is like ignorant American here, how does the system work? Do people like submit their questions and then they kind of like consolidate those questions?
So from our perspective, from our bit, it's every Wednesday. It's I think it's a half hour on our session, might just be half hour. And generally the other representatives in the House, so the other members of Parliament, submit requests to ask a question. So they submit questions to be asked, and then the Speaker of the House will determine which questions are going to get asked. Now, there are some within that. You have the main leader of the opposition gets 6 questions, which they just fire off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they get an answer for each of them. The leader of the next biggest party, I think, gets 2 questions, 3 questions, and then after that, it's basically a free for all. Anybody who has submitted a question and catches the speaker's eye, up to the half-hour time limit, I think, and then it's all over. But the bit that you hear most about is the opposition leaders' questions to the Prime Minister, because they're normally the most pointed and the most political. So And that's what I guess that's what news stories are made of. So I guess the there would be some equivalence, I guess, to the press corps briefing, because at least you're getting questions being asked, you're getting some answers, and then we could talk about them. Some might be better than others. So I don't know. I just kind of think there's something about it.
The thing with the press briefing is that it's daily. I think most days it's daily.
Yeah, we might just need to pick up Thursday's press briefing.
I mean, we could, yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like it's daily, or at least week daily. Neil in chat says Congressman Eric Sorensen has a staffer who is HFE.
Cool. So,
well, on the failure panel at HFES.
Wave harder, Heidi.
Heidi?
For attention to speak?
Was that?
Or something? I don't know.
Oh, no, he sees this. Remember sometimes... this is too long of a story. Just the light thing. Remember sometimes you get the halo effect, and I've never been able to figure out why that happens. And then I just start to become really glowy, really, really, really light. And I have to wave my hand in front of the camera for it to get a break.
Oh.
And so I think that's what he's been seeing. Me going like this so that the glow will go away.
That's hilarious.
I was like, wave harder. What am I doing? Now I forgot my complete train of thought.
Well,
what was I saying, Barry?
I can't. You
the failure panel at
yes.
HFES. Of course I forgot. Oh, I love ADHD. The chief of staff of Defense Secretary something was in that session listening to our panel about failure as a path to innovation that we had at HFES. When Christy Harper, Melissa Meingas, and Rita and Andrew and we spoke on failure and the perception of it and how it unfolds in life and stuff like that, and how it's used as a path to innovation and resilience. And there was that person in there, and it was very interesting because it was one of the very last questions. We were talking about failure in high stress environments and how to prevent certain things. And I can't speak to the exact details of what led to that particular question at this particular point anymore. I don't remember exactly. I just remember we were speaking about people who worked in jobs where even if they were not at optimal performance, they had to perform because that was just that was the environment. I think we were talking about bus drivers and stuff like that. And he asked where could we start, and the fiery justice seeking person in me with that extreme sense of justice coming from the autism, coming from the ADHD, of course had to get a little bit on her soapbox and kind of give a lecture on, well, if you started paying people fair wages and gave them enough time off and sick leave so that they could recover from their actual stressors in life, and they didn't feel like if they missed a day of work they couldn't pay rent or couldn't put food on the table, then you would actually also see a decline in people being chronically fatigued, chronically sick, chronically stressed, because they have such high cortisol levels and such high inflammation from being so stressed all the time. And
too much to ask for.
And I think he was a lovely gentleman. There was no animosity going on in that panel. It was just one of those instant gut reactions where I go, well, we can engineer. It's kind of what I can't remember if Barry, you said it once, or Nick. It's kind of, but that whole theory of like, you can't engineer everything away. You can't engineer the human behavior away. So you can come up with the greatest solutions, the greatest approaches, the greatest thinking, on the planet, light years ahead of, innovation. If you don't fix the actual root, then it's always going to grow rotten. So the resilience position was basically.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what that means. Sorry.
As you said, the HV technical advisory group for the DoD was
Yes, I got it. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, oh god, there's a comedian. He has a special. It's called "You Can't Fix Stupid."
Yep. No, we've had that before. So,
I mean, you can fix a lot of things. If you keep not fixing the actual problem.
Isn't it amazing though that that's kind of our job, is to fix stupid in a lot of ways? And I don't mean that as like a as an insult to people who use products and services. I just feel like we have to make it stupid proof in a lot of ways, and so in a way we are fixing stupid.
No, we're fixing uneducated.
Education doesn't necessarily equal like
no,
better
you're
performance.
no. Stop. You're conflating education with schooling. I'm speaking about education about whatever you're using. Like, I'm coming from a point of view where if you keep throwing novel things out into the world with a groupthink engineering where you only engineer for the majority of the world, and then this goes back to the whole concept of like not including people with autism or ADHD into trials, if you keep just designing for untrained, if you just keep designing for only the majority and you leave all for instance, I can only speak to that right now, but like neurodivergence out, then you're not fixing stupidity. You're fixing the untrained or uneducated about that particular product or whatever it is you're doing. I didn't mean schooling. You shouldn't.
No, I didn't mean schooling either. I meant like, even if you're uneducated about a product or service, being educated about it doesn't necessarily increase performance, retention, all those things. It helps, but it by itself. Anyway, I'm just saying we're fixing stupid over here.
Yeah.
That's not the one I meant to bring up here. The one that I meant to bring up here was this one. I mean, you can support the show if you like. I put the couple stories that we've been talking so far up on this post. You can all go to this link and vote in what you want to hear about, presumably next week. I said it tentatively for next week. So go and vote. That's open to everybody. You don't have to be a patron to do that. That's just where we poll. And I will keep track of that. And that absolves us of needing to go and look for more news stories.
And I can be around next week, so that works. Certainly at this moment in time I can be around, which is good.
Excellent. Well, why don't you block that off and we'll plan for it?
It's already in there. I do that. It's just where everything else suddenly comes and gets me.
All right. So we'll see how the votes fall in. I see there's already a couple votes on it now.
Cool.
So that's great. Let's see here. So yeah, now that opens us up for any other topics of discussion, which I did want to talk about one thing. This is like my one more thing for the week, if you will. Have you all been watching Squid Game: The Challenge?
Never
I've
watched it.
First, I think we've watched the first 2 episodes so far. So
okay,
we're only a bit into it.
What do you think?
It's interesting, isn't it? I was intrigued as to how they were going to try and get some of the realism in, i.e., the whole getting shot piece. And I think they they've done that quite well. Because you could have easily gone with the red paint and all that sort of stuff, but they've deliberately gone black so it doesn't look like you're being shot. It is just a marker, so it doesn't make it look gruesome, but you still get the effect because actually all the contestants are doing the whole pretending to die thing, which is cool. Some of it is I'm getting into it. I need to binge some of it to get it there, but
and just to be clear, I'm gonna avoid spoilers here. So if you're if you're planning to watch it and don't want to watch it or any of that, I'm not gonna spoil it here. So don't worry about that. I will say it has some of my most favorite moments from those types of shows with reality TV, in the sense of what they do psychologically to the players.
Mm-hmm.
So things that they've done, they've put them in a windowless big auditorium with all these beds, and you're sleeping in that dorm. It is just like the show. And so there's all these psychological things, people are antsy, not trusting of each other. And those types of things, and they're also building relationships with each other. And all of those things come into play a little bit further down the line as you get closer and closer. And I also, really appreciate the way that they kind of sort of taken some of these moments from the show, if you've seen the Squid Game show, and how they've translated that for a reality TV show when you didn't know necessarily what you knew the things that were coming.
Yes.
But the way that they set those things up is so dramatically different than the show. And it's just there's one moment in particular, and for those of you who have watched it, I think if I say the picnic is not a spoiler, but those of you who have watched it and know the picnic, then you know what I'm talking about. And that's all I'll say about that. But that's one of the best moments that I've ever seen, and I wish I could talk about it. But I'm not going to.
No, because not until I've seen it all. Sorry. Heidi, is reality TV the sort of thing that gets you going, or you're just against it completely?
No. Whatever toots your horn, whatever is your guilty pleasure, whatever is the way you want to earn your living. I'm ambivalent to it, or indifferent, I guess. I just don't care. I just don't. I used to say I have enough drama in my own life.
Right.
So for me, it's fine. But I also find a lot of times these reality shows are, in my personal, from, I don't know how to say this, from just looking around, I find them highly scripted. They're not reality. So most reality shows aren't reality. They're scripted. So I don't know.
I have a different take on that. I think it depends on what type of reality show that you're talking about, like the Real Wives or whatever. That's one thing. I'm talking about actual people, like Big Brother style, living in a house. That stuff's not scripted.
Yeah, it is.
You can't script that.
But it is.
It's not scripted.
But it is.
Well,
it's
some
produced. It is.
It's
yes.
Produced is different from scripted.
Right, but in some sense, a lot of that is then by nature scripted.
The narrative. Look, the narrative is crafted. I'll agree with you there, and that's fine. But I'm just saying that crafting of a narrative and crafting of a story, given things that happen, and sure, the producers can put people into those situations to create some of that tension and to create some of those moments, and I think that, to me, as a content creator myself, is actually really interesting, where you can actually have, to me, and this is let's recreate the Stanford Milgram's prison experiment, but do it in reality TV show so we can get away with it. And to me, that's actually one of the more interesting parts of psychology is how can we craft these things and say, oh, you're doing this for money, but in a lot of ways, it's like a psychological experiment that doesn't have to go through the IRB to do, and no one's going to do a write-up on it. But
but it doesn't start with that. It
doesn't start with that.
it's the
But
selection.
can you
of
imagine
the
if they had a
people.
human factors person on staff doing that? Like,
Well, they wouldn't have reality shows anymore if we were honest, and if we were really, really honest and not feel. Yeah, maybe tonight's not my night for me to take a position on that stuff, but I have a very strong opinion about exploiting people who maybe shouldn't be on TV because of certain things that haven't been whatever addressed. And I'm not just always speaking about mental health, I'm speaking about anything, circumstances in your life, right, that aren't addressed. And then these producers come and exploit them as much as possible. And yeah, these people are very, I always hear, yeah, well, they're grown adults, they signed waivers and and they signed consent forms. You know what? You put somebody in a foreign environment and you take them out of their comfort zone and you take their entire support system away, and then you fabricate delusions and stories and fakeness into it in an environment that's already heated and because of all this newness. And then you don't expect people to break down and humiliate themselves on TV and regret it for the rest of their lives. I just think it's very, very cheap. And so
I absolutely agree with you there in terms of like treatment of people on the shows, in terms of casting selection. Like that's absolutely.
And I'm not speaking to all of it. I do agree with you. Like some of those shows that's not the ultimate goal, right? Like those race shows and those, and the games and the sports games and stuff like that. I'm sure that there is other flaws and benefits. But when I speak to all these shows that are on where it's nothing about like it's 80% women depicted as everything that we're trying to fight, and 20% as everything that we're supposed to hate about them, and it's just no. That's
no
I will for me.
I will say there was without spoilers here in Squid Game, since you brought that up, there was a moment where I'm trying to say this in a way that's not going to be spoilered. There's like a marginalized group that realized that they were a marginalized group in that experiment. And part of the psychology is that, like, you have to eliminate other people. And so once they realized that they were being marginalized and they were being outnumbered, they banded together and tried to equal the playing field and, have the representation matter. And so that was, it's moments like that I really appreciate in games where like that type of thing wasn't scripted. That was like on their own, but that message comes through. And so like those types of things I really like. Anyway, it's a really great show. If you have time, go watch it. Barry, I do want to talk to you about one moment in particular, two moments in particular, but yeah, pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I would say I need to see them first, so yes. But no, I mean we've had a bit of a social media binge, I guess, because we've had the Big Brother reboot over here, which that ended a few weeks ago, and then we've gone straight into I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where all the celebrities are in the jungle in Australia. That comes to an end in December. On Saturday, I think. And that's been interesting to watch. But that's become so formulaic that it's now needing just to stop for a while and then to allow itself to, because it's got to almost a ridiculous stroke boring, whichever way you look at it. And then the other thing we've been watching, you must have it out in the States, the Married at First Sight thing. So we've got the Married at First Sight UK, and that, for me, from a psychology basis, is just interesting in a whole bunch of different ways. I think it's really been more addictive watching than I give it credit for. To the point that, the kids were watching it, and then they're like, "Oh, Dad, you got to watch this." And I'm not watching that rubbish. It's blah 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 blah. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, "Well, are we watching the next one? Are we going to finish this off? Because we can't just leave it halfway through." Seeing almost the you're trying to force relationships and force love and things like that, and it's interesting to see how that experiment evolves. So so there's been a reality stuff at the moment.
That's one that I could never get into. But okay, we can get away from reality TV for Heidi's sake.
No,
Heidi, what's going on in your world? What do you want to talk about?
I honestly, everybody has their thing, you know. One person likes to watch documentaries, another person likes to watch true crime, which in itself is also exploitive, you know. And I don't know. Everybody has their thing. I did get a little kick out of watching Shaws of Sunset for a couple of episodes just because it brought me back to my Persian, you know, culture. It's just funny to see some of the sayings in Farsi and the gestures and our body language and how we talk and what we eat. That was funny. Excuse me. But I mean, but then I can't continue when one of them gets drunk again and humiliates themselves in public again, and it all becomes a drama show, you know. And that's the stuff I don't like. It's just not fun. But what do I want to talk about? I don't know. You know, my world, Nick, is very small these days. It's nothing but a house repairs. So thank you for all the safety recommendations you sent to me that apparently in one of his hyper-focus bouts. Oh my God, this brought me to our idea, Nick. We should continue that about informing each other of the latest hyper-focus bout that we had, so that we can like bypass the ones that we already know somebody else did for us.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought about that. I was like, wait, so to give context here, Heidi, you were saying that you were going to be doing some DIY home repairs yourself. And I said, ooh,
power move.
And I said power move. And if you're, going down that rabbit hole, I think there's, from my rabbit hole into the DIY, like home improvement, power tools, all that stuff. I was like, oh, one thing that I didn't get really into right off the bat, but wish I had done like right off is the safety stuff. Ironic being human factors. But I think, in terms of eye protection, gloves, and respirator, I think those are like the big three. You can also do hearing protection and as Heidi has,
I always have those in. So.
Yeah, and Heidi has now highlighted the need for foot protection too. So there's sort of a you can protect everything on your body, and I sent Heidi like kind of a condensed list of the things that I use.
I don't know what kind of foot. Oh my God, foot protection you're talking about when we're talking about
boots.
Me just walking from my bed to my desk. I mean, I'm not gonna wear steel-toed house shoes. I don't think that's gonna be a thing ever. Gonna be a thing.
What?
I don't know.
Steel toes? I'm sure those exist.
Yeah. Oh, they do in shoes, but not in house shoes.
Steel toe slippers.
Oh,
there's got to be a market for that.
Those.
There's got to be a market for that. Hang on.
You think there's a market for steel toe? I mean, they're not comfortable anymore once there's a steel toe in there.
But how could you design a shoe that could keep your toes safe while still looking good? And also, they don't necessarily be steel toe cap. They could be Kevlar. They could be another material that you could mold in a different way so it has the aesthetic look that you're looking for. Without because you're right, steel toe cap boots are just ugly and heavy and horrible. But
I just don't think I'm ever gonna put on a steel toe anything to walk from my bedroom to my bathroom. It's just not.
Well, when you then break your other toe, don't come crying to us saying we warned you.
Did I come crying from my first broken toe? No.
That's not the point.
Well, that is
No,
the point. If I didn't do it the first time around, what makes you think I'm going to do it the second time around?
Yeah, excellent. So,
It's just asking for behavioral change that you know isn't going to happen. So,
okay.
what
Hang
you
on,
got,
you guys? I'm actually. Hey, I'm gonna do this a different way, so that way, Heidi, you don't have to hide.
Oh, please don't display us again. I got my.
Oh no.
I
I'm
got
saying
my finger
I'm
on
gonna
the
do it-
mouse click.
I'm gonna do it in a way where you're not gonna have to hide here.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can get a list of Prime Minister's questions just so we could.
Well, anyway, the theory on that was that we were just gonna, from now on, we just every time we have a bout of hyper focus, and we found out extremely a lot about something that we never think should know, we need to text our network and let everybody know, hey, if you ever get into this, I got you. I swear. Oh, if anybody's listening, anybody could teach me how to sister a joist that is already attached with a metal clip. How do I sister next to a metal clip? Anybody ever have a hyper focus moment there and already found out a lot? Feel free to find me at HFUX Research across all social media platforms, and please inform me. Thank you.
Nice.
That was my public service announcement.
I don't know if this helps, Heidi, but I just sent you something.
Reddit. Sister joist. That looks like my house. Well, yeah. I see. So, see those metal clips? I need to put a sister joist next to it, but I don't want to take the metal clip off. So, can I just sister against the metal clip?
Read the comments.
This is what I meant. This is not what I meant with you already having a hyper focus bout and just giving me.
No, the answer's the top answer there. Replace the hanger with a double. Unless you're talking about something different.
No, that's not what it is, Nick. A hanger means that it's anchored into the LVL, and on each side, those are hangers because they just hang. They sit on the LVLs. That's what that's what was done here. They doubled up on the hanger. The hanger is the one where the metal thing is attached. But mine are a combination of hanger and attached. So on one side, my joist is with the metal clip, and then on the other side, it's a hanger. And on this side, I need to attach a joist, but I don't want to take the metal off to flush them so I can attach them to both. So I'm wondering if I can just put the sister joist, sneak it up as quick, close as possible, and then attach them to each other, and then run another metal clip around both then, because otherwise there'd be too much, I guess, bounce in. There's too much room in between the wood, but then again, wood needs to expand. I don't know. But that was my question. So this answer, while correct, is answering something else.
Sorry, I didn't pay a lick of attention to that because I was too busy generating what a steel toe slipper looked like on ChatGPT.
And I didn't realize how long I just talked about construction.
What?
Here you go. Here's ChatGPT's first rendering of what a steel toe slipper might look like. And I said, no,
that's not
make it more like
slipper.
Yeah, no, make it more slippery. And so then it came back with this here. So it's still not something I would wear around the house, but at least, I mean, it looks protective.
Yeah, it's getting there, right?
But I did get it, smaller, thinner, more airy, and it came out with this one. So
A
I mean,
nice,
like,
cute little image, right?
yeah, I mean, you're starting to see some of these, like, I don't know. There's a bunch of junk going on in this corner. Hang on, it's still uploading. I'll get it in just a second. That I'm doing it so that way we don't have to hide. Get rid of that one.
We have. This is clearly a hangout tonight.
Peak Hangout.
We've.
There you go. There it is.
They look like
Smaller, more airy.
on.
What?
Can-Compact Ultra Protection for basic foot protection.
I got so distracted by all those typos.
They need to be a bit slightly furrier, don't they? So they look warm and inviting to put on.
Oh, okay. You want that? Because I had another one here. This was a previous iteration, but it was the one that came for it, and I said less fluffy. But you want more fluffy.
Oh, I think it needs more fluffy because otherwise,
You want more fluff.
always.
Okay. Well, presenting. Give it a sec. It's uploading. It's really cutting down the. Presenting Imagine Ulibe, Ultra Roar, for to the light, Steve Design.
Can you throw some glitter in it?
Oh shit! All right, I can do that. Hang on.
Can you throw some glitter in there, please? Some lavender
some
glitter, or some
in
pink
there.
or purple.
Or
And
purple glitter would
pink.
look cool.
Purple. I love how
All
the
right,
British
here.
say purple. Purple.
Purple.
Purple.
Let's get Barry back in here. All right, I'll get the glitter one in just a sec.
Thank you.
Hey,
I appreciate
one thing that I wanted to talk about, which has actually been a very cool experience. I think we talked about this briefly last week. Was the augmented reality headsets and being able to see the pass through stuff and with the keyboard and learning music and all
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff.
You're learning piano, right?
I am. So I found out that the Quest 2, it has pass through, and I knew it had pass through, but I didn't realize that pass through could be used in applications. And so I downloaded that. Piano Vision is what it's called, and you can upload your own custom MIDIs to it, which is just a file that plays music, and so you can learn how to play these things on the piano. And it's really cool because it overlays the keys on your MIDI key. You plug the keyboard directly into the headset, and it overlays the keys, and you actually learn how to play these songs, and it's very cool. It's all black and white, and so the image quality is like bad, but I can still see the piano. I'm still learning how to do it. It's really cool. It's really cool. Little clunky, but very cool. And we'll see how long my interest in that lasts before I'm like, yeah, I'm done with the VN.
I'm trying to get back into learning languages again. So I'm trying to do the whole.
Oh, cool.
Well, mainly living in Wales, the rebirth or regrowth of the Welsh language is something that everyone's very keen about. So I'm trying to. Oh, see, now they're cool. I'd wear them.
Aw.
There's a steel toe in there, guys. Look at that.
I mean, glitter.
Would you wear that around the house?
Everything more beautiful in life. Sprinkle a little sparkle on everything.
The only thing I think you need to put on there now is I think you need to add a pair of googly eyes. If you could add googly eyes,
Googly eyes?
googly eyes makes everything better.
Googly eyes?
Yeah.
Googly eyes? I tried to glitter as much as possible tonight, and then by the time I was done, I was wearing a glitter shirt, a glitter top, I had glitter earrings on, glitter shoes, I had glitter on my pants. I was wearing my lightning bolt pants. They're my rock.
I'm not putting googly eyes on it, by the way. I'm not doing that. I'm doing something else.
Why are you not putting googly eyes on it?
Because I thought of a better idea, and
right.
I'm trying that. I said.
This is only going one way, isn't it?
Yeah. Hang on. So I will tell you the prompt, and then I will show you the image here that uploads. But I'm already creating the next one. All right. So the prompt I wrote was, give me a photo of a toddler who just discovered glitter and dumped it around the house with a frustrated, exhausted mom standing nearby.
Fair enough.
I'm sad for the lady.
Yeah, that looks legit. No, I think there needs to be more glitter.
Oh yeah, no, that was my next one.
Because that just looks too tidy, if I'm honest. A quick hoover and a brush.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm uploading the next one here. I'm going step by step. I said more glitter, more frustration. And it came back with this one here.
I like just all the tubes of glitter all over the floor. That's epic. Though saying that, the mum doesn't look anguished enough. She just looks like she's, oh dear, that's happened. Oh well. Whereas any parent would be more vocal. I guess you can't get the vocal bit over with what they're doing.
And so I then came back and said, give me, give even more glitter. Everything is glitter. The mom is so exhausted. And ironically, it gave me an image without the mom in it. So here's the image.
That's an appropriate amount of glitter. Yeah, that works.
And I said, okay, well, that you didn't show me the mom. Show me the mom. She's clearly not present in this image, and where's the mom? So there's the mom.
She needs more glitter everywhere because she looked a bit too tidy.
Yeah.
Do you guys get the fruit drink J2Os in the States? So they're a juice drink with, in bottles. What they do around Christmas time is they put edible glitter in the juice drink. So as you turn it upside down, you shake it, and it gets glitter all the way going through it. And looks very pretty, and my family absolutely love them. I'm not that keen on them, but everybody else is. So then Amanda felt that I was getting left out at one year, and so she got my beer bottle and she bought edible glitter to put in the beer bottle, which she did, and then turned it upside down to shake it to make sure the glitter went everywhere. Yeah, that didn't end well, as the beer bottle basically exploded in her hand, and it went everywhere after she'd shaken it up.
I'm completely caught in an ADHD moment, or autistic. I think my OCD is more shining right now. I love her glitter.
Okay, and you're about to see. Hang on. You're about to see sort of the when people push this thing to its limit, where it goes. I said, the mom is covered in glitter. She's at peak of human anger and anguish. She is about to transcend into a god of anger. anguish and destruction.
Yeah, that looks about right. Fair play. No, that was good. That.
I am picking wallpaper.
Okay.
While you're podcasting?
No,
To be fair, I'm
like,
making
currently-
images of a mom covered in glitter.
currently. You know, like I'm currently, it's one of my things I'm picking right now for the house repairs. And I can catch myself daydreaming about patterns. And then I get caught up with making up my own. And then if I Google to try to find something that I've just basically imagined, I of course can't find it. And so I will spend a long time wasting not getting what I need when, you know, I should just go the other way around, not imagine it, not make it up in my head, and then try to find what I just made up in my head. But that's what I meant earlier when I said I just got caught up in the moment. I was doing the backwards thing again.
Gotcha. So I said even angrier, even more powerful. And there you go.
We're getting very what's the word? Almost. Yeah,
Marvel.
something like that.
Yeah, I'll bring that back just for a second. And then I said, in all caps, even more glitter. Her entire universe is covered in glitter. And then they gave us this one. So that one's actually really great. I love this one. This could be like an 80s metal band album cover.
And that's almost a bit Captain Marvel as well.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Yeah. So that's fun.
I just realized
AI's
I'm
so
really
fun.
tired.
Are
That
you?
because, yeah, can you tell? It's might have something to do with it being quarter to midnight. It's really weird. My youngest daughter's 17 today, and so we've been out bowling with her
Happy
this
birthday.
and it's because we're doing that whole house renovation thing at the moment, and so we can't get into the kitchen and the dining room, or we get into bits of it, but it's not finished. So it's been quite hard work to try and get everything the way we want it to be able to do stuff. And I think it's starting to. When we first started it, like I think it was like 2 months ago, it was all a very very fun, exciting thing to get started on, and then now it's just we're over it. And we could do with it just being stopped and just go away. But there we go. Wonder what Heidi's about been listening to. But there we go. So what's everybody doing
I'm
this
hearing somebody's background noise.
weekend? Right. Okay, fair enough.
Might be me.
Depends what is it fun background noise or is it?
What's the music right now?
That's the music. That
Oh,
makes me-
it's Christmas music. Yeah, we're probably hearing
What
the
is
Christmas
it?
music. What do you mean?
What song is it right now?
It's not a song. It's just like it's royalty free Christmassy music. It's not a song that you would know.
Gotcha.
musical music.
Christmassy feeling music, not actual Christmas music. Although there was you ever there's a inappropriate Christmas song, or like I almost want to. What was that song? It was there's a Christmas song where like these kids were like, "Mommy, will Daddy be home for Christmas?" And then it hold on. An Old Christmas. That's what it's called. Okay. It's by Linda Bennett. Sorry, I had to look up some lyrics there. You hear this song? You've heard it, Barry?
What, the one that's playing now? As in the background music?
No. It's called An Old-Fashioned Christmas. Have you heard that song?
Don't think so, off the top of my head.
Okay. So, like it's a typical Christmas song, okay, and I tell to go listen to it because it sounds fine and normal. And then there's like moments within it that just kind of take a real dramatic left turn. Yeah, it's I almost I can't play it because of
Licensing issues.
streamer, right? Yeah, all that stuff. Can't play it, but go listen to it because it. I feel like Barry's maybe listening to it right now.
No.
No.
Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. Do you want to? And we can like, we can witness a live reaction if you want to like, tell us when you hit play so people can play along with you, and then or maybe we can all do that on our own ends and we can react together, but without the music.
I wouldn't be able to play it without it coming through this.
Oh,
so,
really? Okay.
Because of the board, so.
Gotcha. All right.
Womp
See,
womp
my phone's-
womp. Didn't work out.
It's okay. We'll go listen to
Lovely
it.
idea.
It's, I can't put into words what.
The
Maybe
shock.
maybe that's going to be homework.
I think so.
For next
So
week.
next time, please be watching.
Barry, you mentioned weekend plans. What do you have going on this weekend? Something fun?
Having said that, I'm fairly sure I do have things.
Something.
God, but I can't remember. So actually, well, tomorrow we've got our K-Sharp Christmas do. So I'm getting the entire team together and having a bit of a laugh with them to then. So during the day, we're doing a bit of a workshop, team workshop around next year's strategy and all that sort of stuff. And then we're going to go into the town, and we've got a place in a hotel where they're doing Christmas works Christmas dues. So we're going to go and do that, which means Saturday morning I could be slightly delicate, not wanting to get out of bed, and things like that. So we're just going to sort of see how it goes.
Can I? So at this holiday whoop-de-doo, is there going to be holiday music?
I would think so.
Okay.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't, I think.
If you have info over the situation, you should put on an old-fashioned Christmas for you and all of your employees, and just do like a group reaction to it.
We could do something like that. I could, because I think so. The thing that we go into has lots of different businesses going to it, and apparently there's a DJ and stuff. So we could go and have a quiet word with the DJ and get the entire reaction and see what happens.
Yes, if you could do it stealthily to where people, I don't know. I almost want to like. There's nothing inappropriate in the song that would be like that you wouldn't have at a work function. It just takes a turn in several different ways that you're like, what?
Fair enough.
So yeah, highly recommended.
I now know which song you're talking about.
Oh, okay, you do.
Yeah. I don't know why. It all of a sudden go, yeah, I know what yep, I know which one you're talking about. Okay. I see what you mean with the turn.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I am going to have to go away and find out. So,
and if you want to listen to it beforehand, you can, but But it might be better if you listen to it live with all your employees, to where
I get
just,
everybody else. Yeah.
you're all reacting to it together. It's a team bonding experience.
Team effort.
I mean, I can't see anything going wrong with that at all.
Nothing. Nothing. Not one thing. Okay, well, energy's dead. I think maybe
No,
we
it's-
just end it a couple minutes early today. Or we could
I
play a game. Y'all want to play a game?
just
We could play a couple rounds of
You-
you getting old.
you get me sidetracked. So with these topics that come out of the left field, I go, wait, I know what song now. I can't remember which lyric made me burst out laughing when I heard it. But I also don't want to spoil it, so I don't want to ask.
I think it's probably yeah, there's definitely one line.
I think
got
that's
me.
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I remembered what you meant, because when you said there's no bad, like it's not inappropriate, it's just it takes such a turn. That's when I knew what you meant. Yeah. Let's talk about our one more thing for the day.
All right, go.
Anybody? Should I go first?
Oh, I said the VR thing was mine.
Oh,
you can go.
Cheater.
No, I actually called it a one more thing in the moment.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, fair play.
Dang it. Yeah, you are right.
So what's your one more thing?
I don't know if it is my one more thing. I'm just probably annoyed. The security systems, are all based off of Wi-Fi now and all that stuff. And everything is wireless. Oh, I don't know if this story makes me look very smart. Everything's wireless.
Careful,
But-
this will end up as a short later.
I took the doorbell because I was able to charge everything else, and this doorbell has the same thing, and I charged it and it went on. Everything is fine. I go downstairs. I now have a new front door, so I wanted to put the doorbell there, so I, all proud with my power tools. And I get the plate in, and I attach the doorbell and I ring it. It doesn't work. And I just do the Google search and I go, can I use this doorbell wirelessly? And it goes, no, it's hardwired.
Oh.
So there it goes for design, right? It looks exactly like the other ones. Like you can't tell that it needs to be, like there's a power part to it. So I just assumed, because everything these days is wireless, that was going to be wireless too.
Fair assumption.
Fair assumption. Yeah.
It's no, in fact, we've been putting them doorbells in at our new offices, and an almost a similar thing, because some of them I've got a hardwired one too, but it was too close to the front door. And it was picking up just everybody walking past in the street. So I've had to put another one in. So the sort of top of a set of stairs. But we haven't got that one wired in yet, so I'm having to recharge it on a semi-regular basis. So, which is just a pain to do.
That's so weird, guys. On this card, it says you talk about doorbells on podcasts.
Oh, fair play. Yeah,
That's
it's
weird.
exciting. And is the bringing it back is if you actually understand what wireless ones are.
No, it's
what
you.
must?
The other one, the redeem is you own your own jewel, like vapor.
Yeah.
Not a
What?
redemption. That's a lung cancer waiting to happen. Okay. Sure.
You got things flashing on the side of your face.
What? Oh yeah,
What?
stormy outside.
Right, okay. Fair play.
Was that lightning?
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, there it goes again.
I know you're messing with me. Okay.
I'm not messing with you.
Yes, you are.
No. Why would I do that? You're a guest on this show. Why would I do that to the guests? Whoa, that was a long one.
The irony of that was that you said you're a guest on the show, as if that's a.
You see how long the lightning was? That was crazy.
Are you okay there? Any
Yeah.
seizures? What's going on?
Oh yeah. No, no, I'm good.
Okay.
This music is very calming. I feel like
It is.
Is it?
It's quite soporific.
Yeah. Soporific. That is such a good word. I used to use that
Mhm.
more in my language, but I don't anymore.
What is it? Where does yawning come from again? I forgot it.
Where does it? It's the need to expel carbon dioxide, isn't it? And
I
then
thought
Is it to
was
expel carbon dioxide or to get oxygen into your lungs?
that. I
No,
thought
it's-
it was the other one.
isn't it because what you're doing, you've got too much carbon dioxide in your system, therefore it needs to expel the carbon dioxide in order to then basically bring in more oxygen for you to
Mm,
do it. It could
I
be
don't
wrong.
know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change
I
the
also
music.
have a tight
We should
jaw.
go epic.
Epic? What's epic? Oh. Is this game of human factors?
Well, I was gonna say we should do the epic music to get everybody hyped for the return of the show next week. Because I was gonna check in on the Patreon poll. Looks like we have a few favorites here on the poll right now. As it stands right now, there's a tie.
Playing a game.
It's a tie between the Cybertruck and the AI update. So if you want to have some agency in what the show, about what we talk about on the show, I will put up that link for everyone one more time. We'll have the dramatic, epic return of Human Factors Cast next week. Maybe I should do cinematic. Is cinematic better? Let's see. I don't know. There's a few more music options in here than we're used to. Oh, that one. Okay. Okay. All right.
Reminds me of Persian music.
What if we did acid jazz? What is that?
Acid jazz. That's
Let's go for it. Okay.
I can't hear it.
Let's see.
It's quite chill like that.
Yeah. All right.
That's acid jazz? Why
Yeah,
did I
let's
think it
switch
had
up.
to be faster?
Oh. It's like jizz music.
It's like what?
Jizz music.
Did you see Barry and my faces go up? That means something different in Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I love jizz. Jizz is my favorite. It's just so
Don't perpetuate it.
jizz is so good. So it's
Okay,
the music in Star Wars. They call it jizz.
Okay.
Like jazz. But it's jizz. And so it's my favorite. I love jizz. So somebody's gonna clip that. So
Oh, totally.
you're welcome. Merry Christmas, I guess. Happy holidays.
Okay, so next week when you're scrolling through
Okay, hang on. I feel like I
your
need to
social
redeem
media
myself.
platforms, you will discover Nick on a viral meme.
Probably. Let's see. Okay.
I mean,
hang on.
it says everything to end the podcast on. It's clearly next year's. Oh dear.
All right. You know what? Hang on. I can't with this because I need to show you all. All right, Heidi, you might want to go away because I'm going to share my screen here because I just got to show this.
Bye.
Look at this. Okay, jizz, canon. Jizz was a genre of music. Jizz wailers were musicians who specialized in the genre. Maximilian Rebo. You gonna tell me that Max Rebo, this guy? You gonna tell me that you don't love this guy spitting jizz all over your ear holes? All right, probably.
I wish I could
Getting-
see actually what you're looking at, but it's so tiny I can't.
You don't need to.
It's
Oh,
all
yeah,
about
there you
Star Wars and
go. The Star Wars. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and sign off for the day. My name's Nick Rome. I like jizz, the music. Don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't feel comfortable
Um,
with that being said so much when I'm here.
I should stop. Yeah, you're right. And look, like to be clear, I'm talking about the Star Wars music.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I should stop.
Oh,
Just reining
Anyway.
him in a little.
We like to have fun here.
That's my job
and
most of the time.
sometimes we have too much fun.
And sometimes we do.
So we'll reel it back. We'll have the dramatic return of Human Factors Cast next week, where we talk about one of the topics that is on the Patreon. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, we shall see you all then.
Well, and also,
And
please go over to Safe and Effective and listen to the latest
Yeah.
episode there.
some fun stuff over on that podcast as well. All right, bye everybody. Bye.